Hey guys, so today I'm just going to be examining some older maps. I know in the last episode I said I had this one, the Carta Marina. This is a map of Scandinavia. I actually don't have that map. Um, I was wrong. I thought I was looking at this map right here, the 1587 planisphere. I do have a 3 foot by 3 foot poster of this one. Have it hanging up in my house. Um, But this is pretty crazy map. I mean, 60 sheets and it was a 10-foot square map. Like this thing had to have been huge, and imagine the detail that was on it. And to me, it looks like it's been modified in multiple different places. Like it seems like right here, there's just a weird kind of cut. But I mean, maybe that could just be how he made it. Um, just crazy old map, and main thing about this one is it's showing land at the North Pole. That's the topic. We're just examining maps of the North Pole area. Um, so I tried to find some information on this map. I actually couldn't really find anything on Wikipedia. There's some references. He wrote some books. Um, but I can't read in Italian, so if anybody knows, there's interpreted versions of these books. Let me know, or translated. Um, so there's that. Get into this Carta Marina. The history on this map is actually pretty interesting. It was made in um, initially published in 1539. If you read about it, it just tells you where what lands are mapped out on it and stuff. The history I thought was pretty cool, or interesting at least. It was created in Rome during 1527 to 39 by Olaus Magnus, and he made it in Rome, off of just other maps that they had there, and then off of his own observations. So if you look at this map, it's got some pretty crazy stuff on it. Like there's the uh Thule or Thule. I guess it's pronounced Thule. I talked about it in the last episode. But look at all these monsters and stuff around here. These sea creatures. Just crazy stuff around here. I mean, and then the detail around here, around the shorelines and the rivers, like they had mapped out an extreme amount of detail on these areas. So that's just one point I want to make is the amount of detail that are on some of these old maps. So he based it off of his own observations right here it says, and then off of some other stuff. And the map was in production for 12 years. The first copies were printed in 1539 in Venice. Um, he complemented the map with a description of the northern peoples, which was basically just talking about the religion of the Norse, the Old Norse religion, and printed in Rome. And then it says all the originals maps copies passed out of public knowledge after 1574, and the map was largely forgotten, perhaps because a few copies were printed and Pope Raul III asserted a 10-year copyright. It was later questioned whether the map had ever existed. So to me, that just sounds fishy, like some sort of book burning, or like somebody was trying to hide it. It only resurfaced in 1886. Oscar Brenner found a copy at the Hof Stadtbücherei, I cannot pronounce that, in Munich, It's just a big, huge library. It says it's got over 10 million documents there. Um, and then it currently is residing there. And then it says in 1961, another copy was found in Switzerland. So for anybody that wants to say that, that's just a fairy tale fiction, why were there two copies separate so far away from each other, one in Switzerland and one in Munich? I just find that very interesting. So if it was made in Italy or in Rome, then it had to have been accurate enough for them to want to use it up in the northern European countries. So it was a accurate map for them at the time. So going back to it, it is a crazy map if you want to look at it. It's the Carta Marina. It's got all sorts of crazy stuff. It's got this place right here. It's just full of, it's like an island. It's like an archipelago, just tons of little islands around. And the amount of just like what kind of a structure is this that has the water coming out of it? And what are these mountains with fire around them? And I think that's all I wanted to make for the points. And then these crests are starting to catch my eye, so I'm kind of paying more attention to that. And it's something I've noticed back when I start talking about Canada again. Um, so this is the map here that I have with land at the North Pole. So I was trying to find other maps that depict this, not just the one that I have. Going back to this is not the one I showed in the first video. This was made in 1606, and it's slightly different from the one I showed in the first video, which was made in 1595. I'll show you that one in a second. But one of the main differences I've noticed is the islands are slightly different, and there's no mountains here anymore. They took out this mountain range, and there's no border even to this place. So I found that very interesting that change happened in 11 years that they decided to, because here is the one I showed yesterday, and it's quite different. It's quite different. This one is older, so you say maybe that's just an updated map. The one in 1606, it's just more accurate. They found out there wasn't land there or something. But I just want to keep in mind, just when you look at this, keep in mind the detail on everything else of this map. The detail, even the borders around here, they're still very detailed. There's more information around, there's information around this stuff. Okay? So you look at the older one, they have all this same detail, and even up in this area, it looks to me like there's even more information, more writing and stuff. So pay very close attention to the amount of detail on these older maps, and then pay very close attention to when they do this and just take the border out of a certain area. Okay, so here's 10 fascinating historic maps of the Arctic. All right, look at all the detail around the edges and the borders. Now, if you're sailing around and you're trying to make an accurate map, which is what they were doing, it's very obvious they were making accurate maps of places. Like, look at all of the settlements along the borders. These are all available in very high resolution, so you can examine them yourself and just see the amount of work that was put into them. But then you get to these points around the edge. This is Greenland, you know, they just put nothing. It fades out just like in the other North Pole map. So you gotta wonder why the land is so detailed in some areas of a map, but right in the middle it's missing where the North Pole is supposed to be. So it looks like honestly, it looks like some things have been removed out from these maps to me. So that's the point I'm trying to make here today, is that it looks like they removed these islands, possibly, that were there. Why? Maybe because they're not there, but I think because they're more of a secret. They're trying to hide something. Uh, so continuing down and just looking at these maps, they always have the extreme amount of detail everywhere until it gets to this northern area, the Arctic, the far north. So people are gonna say, well, it was just ice up there, so they didn't know if it was land or not. Well, that could be, but don't you think that they would map the ice though? That so people at least knew where the ice was. It's because these maps are for navigation. They're not just gonna be like, oh yeah, there's nothing there. They're gonna at least put what they think is there. And if they thought there was ice there, they would put the ice down, because that's what they started doing eventually. But like these maps, these older maps, they just look like it's been taken out, like photoshopped. Honestly, like taken out, like they took these whole portions of these maps out of the picture. Like they're gone. It happens time after time. Now, if you look at this one, I think this is supposed to be Alaska, and this is supposed to be like Russia. I could be wrong though. I think it just says America right here, so I'm guessing this is like northern Canada, and it says Greenland or Groenland, so I'm guessing that's supposed to be Greenland. I could be wrong, but one thing I want to note here, which I might get into in later videos, is Tartary. Tartary or Tartaria is a old civilization that is thought to have like ruled over the earth. So just keep that Tartary in mind, and we might get into that in later videos. So we might get into it, maybe not in this series, but I might make some videos on it separately. So this is where they started mapping out the ice in the north. But as you can see, it still looks like they blurred out something in the middle. Like something was kind of removed. Now these are just my thoughts, so this is what it looks like to me. And then up here, you have Greenland. You have all this detail in Greenland, and then you have just this missing space. There's no border. Like, did people not go up here? Like, you're telling me that even in the summer months, it's not, it's too cold to go this far. It was too cold for them back in 1820. They got this mapped right here, but they don't have this mapped. Now, I'm just finding all these inconsistencies. Like, yes, it's very accurate, and I understand the ice, and, maybe they didn't want to map out the ice, but why wouldn't they want to map out the ice when maps are used for navigation? So a sailor looking at this map up here is just gonna think, so I can just sail up right all the way through here and sail through here, and this is I can sail my boat onto the other side of the shore? What is a sailor supposed to think when he looks at these maps? I don't think this was uncharted back in 1702. This map was probably completely full. They probably had this all mapped out here, and it probably looked more something along the lines of this up in that area, and they would just it has been removed. If anybody has any other maps they can refer me to, because these inconsistencies, you got 1680, the detail, then no detail, the detail stops. Then you got 1599, 1599, 1595. Now the thing is, this is a 1595, and this is a 1595. And they're made by the same guy. So, why would he make a map of the North Pole with all this accuracy and then make another map of the North Pole the same year and just leave this whole part out? That makes absolutely no sense. All right. So I think I'm going to leave with that today. I don't want to make a super long video and I don't want to spend a lot of time editing, but I appreciate you guys if you wanted to stay here and watch my second video. Um, one I forgot to show here. This is an older map. I don't know much about this one. I have not looked into it. It's a possibility that this is not. It might not be a map, like an actual map, but I'm pretty sure it is. Like I'm saying, this could just be like an artist's rendition, but I believe this to be. I'm sure it's a real map. I just haven't looked into it. But there's some land here, right here at the north, and then I wanted to show this one, this seal right here, or this coat of arms. This is something I wanna start pointing out is just the amount of symbolism that they used and the detail that went into some of these coat of arms. And the one for the Northern Territory in Canada, Nunavut, I think is very, very weird and interesting, and we'll get to that in another video. But that'll be it for today. I appreciate you guys watching my second video. That means that I got your interest in the first one, so that's pretty cool. You have an open mind and you're willing to think outside of the box rather than go with the general consensus of what the people in control tell you is the truth. You're more willing to be open to the idea of being lied to or having information hidden from you. And those are the kind of people that I'm trying to attract with my videos. So if you're here, thanks. And if you want to stick around for more, I'm really trying hard to make my videos better and get more content and stay on the topic and just basically making quality content for people to enjoy and at the same time share my thoughts and information on the subjects. So again, thanks for watching and I hope you guys all have a great day.